Hello and welcome to the More Cheese, Less Whiskers.com podcast. My name's Dean Jackson, and today we're talking with Dave DePula. Now, Dave is a second-time guest on More Cheese, Less Whiskers. He was on talking about a golf training method that he had developed, and we together through working on the podcast and in our email mastery program had figured out a really great way to get people to come to his website, to leave their name and email address by asking for his 21 Days to Golfing Freedom book, and then a engaging dialogue method to engage with those people and then offer the program that he had to help them improve their golf game. Well, fast forward over a year now, he's developed or come across a new method that's even better than the method that he was talking about. And he's wondering, how does he make that transition? So we'll hear the conversation that we have about the results and about how and what exactly we need to change about the approach that he's taking now. And I think you might be surprised. So enjoy this episode.
Dave DePula.
Dean Jackson, good morning.
Take two.
Take two, Dean.
Wow. Well, how do you feel? You're a second-time guest on More Cheese, Less Whiskers. What do you think of that?
How about privileged?
Oh, boy. Well, you're a doer, and that makes a lot of that goes a long way.
Well, I appreciate the time that you put into all that you do, and your stuff's amazing, and it gets results. So here I am.
So tell me what's going on today. What are we gonna talk about?
Okay. So as I sort of explained to you on the email mastery call, that the system that I put together for golf and helping golfers get better wasn't producing the results that I was anticipating, and found a new method, a new approach that is absolutely amazing. And it's Tasada Golf. And I'm here to find out, how do I get this to as many people as possible so we can help them end their frustration. So,
okay. So let's talk about, how do you say that, what it is again?
It's Tasata, T-A-T-H-A-T-A, Tasata Golf. And what they basically have done, they've combined what the greatest golfers of all time have done throughout the ages, like Nicklaus and Bobby Jones and Hogan, what the greatest athletes of all time have done and still do, and then also martial arts. So in a traditional golf instruction sense, it sort of turns everything on its head. And it really resonated with me because I was always an athlete. And once I was trained how to play baseball, practice was never how to do it. It was just doing it. Make sense?
Right.
So for example, when I was playing baseball and then eventually softball when I got older, I would go to my day job, which was real estate, and that's where we met. And then I'd go home, have dinner, go to the field a half hour ahead of time to loosen up and warm up so I wouldn't hurt myself, and not to try to figure out how to catch a ball or how to hit a baseball. And then if we were the home team, I would go to shortstop, and I knew that I was going to get every ball. Now, did I get every ball? No, but I just knew that I could. And then if I was the leadoff batter, or when I was a leadoff batter, and I'd get up to the plate, I knew I was going to get a hit, Dean. I was 100% trained. And golf instruction, that was part of the problem, let's say, which is we're always searching, always trying to figure it out, how to get better. But ultimately, isn't it about you're either trained or you're not? So one of the things that we say in the program, you're either trained or you're not. And once trained, always trained. So
right.
my new business name is Out in Front Golf. So we're looking out in front. So if I'm going to what day do you guys go to the movies?
Friday. We're going today.
Yeah. So when you guys go to the movies on Friday, it's like you're anxious to get to the movie. You're not trying to figure out how you're moving your body to get the car to go where you want it to go. You're looking out in front. So one of the things that, again, we say in our program is we're going to look out in front, like, where are we going? We're going to go make a birdie. We're not going to try to figure out how to swing the golf club. And this program is structured and it's systematic. So it's step by step. And the best thing that I like about it or love about it is we do it away from the driving range and the golf course. It can be done at home. It can be done somebody in Toronto when it's cold. It's done. All the training is done at home or in some yoga studio or wherever. Now, that's not to say that you can't hit golf balls every day, but we don't train while we're hitting a golf ball, which takes the attention away from the result of trying to hit a golf ball. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So the first thing that I need to do is get people introduced to the Tathata program. They have a 60-day program as part of a yearly membership, which costs $199. And then from that point, I will take them and walk them through, whether in a group or one-on-one, through that program based on their structure. So I don't have to reinvent any wheel. I just have to get people, A, introduced to Tathata, and B, the local people. And I actually even do it remotely. So I can have a whole bunch of remote students, and we all get on our Facebook, or actually another program, or whatever program we use, to help them through the program. So that's where we are as far as product is concerned. And now I don't know what to do.
Okay. Well, I mean, you got a great story. I mean that whole, I look at it that athletics is athletics. I think that there's a lot of crossover things in any of the sports that require hand-eye coordination and fine motor skills. Like I look at, there's a lot of crossover skills between golf and tennis and baseball, and hockey players often tend to be really good golfers as well, right? It's all in that same kind of anything that involves swinging and hitting something, where the goal is to make contact with a ball, with an instrument at some level, whether it's a hockey stick or a baseball bat or a tennis racket. And the interesting thing that golf has, when you really kind of look at what's involved in it, compared to baseball, where you're trying to hit a round ball with a round bat, that the ball's coming at you 100 miles an hour, and you have no idea where it's actually going to be, compared to putting a golf ball on a tee right there at the same, you can control everything about it. It's so funny how we make it so difficult and get caught up in the mechanics of it. You've kind of hit on my kind of secret to golf has always been just using my my athleticism or whatever. And I started playing golf very young. And then when I started playing tennis, I gave up golf mostly, but then came back to it. But I had already learned, I had an advantage in that I'd already learned the moves, learned the basic swing moves. And I had honed my hand-eye coordination and my fine motor skills through tennis. And, I think there's a lot of parallels there that you can build in the stories. Like you mentioned, being a short stop, and when you get in the ready position and you're ready to go wherever the ball comes, your body can react, and your glove is going to be in just the right place to intercept the ball, whether it's on, it's your brain is already calculating the angles and the speed and the trajectory to get your glove in the right place. And then while you're running, to take that ball out of your hand and throw it to first base with accuracy. You're not lining up things, and you're not sort of worried about your mechanics, because you're never in the same position twice when you're throwing the ball from somewhere between second and third base to first, right? And so your brain knows how to calculate that. I saw
Absolutely.
Aaron Baddeley one time on a playing lessons with the pros or something on the Golf Channel, describing his approach to putting as especially the longer putts, right? Like the lag putts is just like that, like baseball. He says he doesn't really take a lot of time to line them up and painstakingly do a lot of mental calculations and stuff. He basically keeps his eye on the hole, visually takes in the environment to see that roughly this is going to, break to the right. It's hard breaking. I better go up here. His brain does all of that calculation for him, and he just lets it go. I think
That's
there's
excellent.
a lot to that,
There is. And in our program, in the Zasada program, we talk about how Nicklaus stalked every single shot. Like, if you're going to kick a soccer ball, you wouldn't stand directly behind it, standing up totally erect and walk into it like that. If I took five people who even never kicked a soccer ball, and we had 5 soccer balls, and I said stand directly behind it, and I said get ready to kick it, most people are going to move to their left or right, depending on if they're left-footed or right-footed, and then they're going to bend over and pretty much stalk it and get ready to just kick the crap out of it. And that's what we basically teach in the Zasada program, which is you're stalking every shot. Every shot is different. There's no one swing. Although there are movements, there are body movements and there's foot movements that we learn and we master, but there's not one swing because every shot is different. Every putt is different.
Okay. So how is this different than the conversation we had about the grass whip method, for instance?
Okay.
How is it different? Because the way you described that, and if people remember the first episode, you're one of the early episodes actually of the podcast, where the grass whip method. The idea was that if you give somebody a grass whip, they naturally know what to do with it and how to swing it, and that it's that taking that same thing then and applying it to your golf swing. So it sounds like a very similar sort of natural approach, or complementary anyway, but tell me what's the difference?
Yeah, the difference is that the body moves differently in the Zasada program, more in line with what a martial artist would do. So we're striking. Okay. So even though we want to project the ball, if we're a right-handed golfer, to the left of us toward our target, okay, yeah. we're thinking that all the things have to go that way. The club goes that way, the hands go that way. Just talk about the club goes down the line, the hands go down the line.
Yeah.
Nothing could be farther from the truth. What's actually happening is we're striking something in front of us. So we have to create leverage first. So we create leverage to strike something. So I was not in the martial arts, but if just imagine that you have some concrete or a cinder block or some wood directly in front of you, you would create leverage going back and then just smash straight down in front of you. That's pretty much what we're doing in the golf swing. And then there's certain movements that project the ball forward and to the left, again, if we're a right-handed golfer. And it's absolutely totally different than the grass whip, which disconnects the arms from the body. So what we found in the grass whip method is that there was not a lot of power in it. So if you were going to strike something in front of you, you would connect your arms back down to your body. So all the greatest golfers, Tiger before 2000, Hogan, Nicklaus, Gary Player, Greg Norman, they reconnected their arms to their body as they struck the ball in front of them. So imagine that again. Imagine that you have some weights or some you have a pulley weight where your arms go up and you want to bring it down. You wouldn't do it away from your body. You need to bring it right back in front of you. So one of the major things is how we strike something in front of us and not just swing our arms freely with no power whatsoever. So the power and accuracy in this method is just amazing. So I played the back 9 at the Palms the other day. I shot 4 under. I hit 8 greens and just left out 4 birdie putts. Could have shot literally 8 under without even trying. So I never felt as a player, as a golfer, and as an instructor that I was 100% trained. Never even thought about it. Like, I'm just trained. I know I can do this. I know I can drive my car to the supermarket without hitting anything as long as no one hits me. That kind of thing. And as soon
That's
as
the secret. I think that's it. Like that's
that's
my
the secret,
approach
brother.
to golf, right? For me, I play. I don't play as much as I used to. It seems like, but I would say that 80% of the rounds that I play, I'm going to shoot between 78 and 82. That's right in my zone there. If I take it out to 90% are going to be between 75 and 85. And then I may have 10%. I'm not really going to go below 75, but then the wheels may fall off and I may shoot 87 or something like that, right? More likely to have an outlier on the high side than the low side. But
Absolutely.
It's really that sort of, it's really that sort of thing that my game is very simple, in that I hit a lot of fairways. I don't have hit it a ton, but I hit a lot of fairways. I don't hit a lot of greens. Just on when we're playing some of the longer courses, I just don't have the long approach game. And so consequently, I have a really good short game because I get a lot of practice at it, and I've got that fine motor skills and hand-eye coordination and touch from playing tennis. But it was funny because somebody asked me, how did you get such a good short game? I said, well, I miss a lot of greens. That's the secret right there.
Dean, absolutely. So, I mean, I was a single digit handicap, 5, 6, 7, and I hit 2, 3 greens around. I mean, and they talked about how Phil Mickelson does all these crazy shots. And maybe not at that level, but I could too, because like you said, you're missing 14 greens, 15 greens around. You're gonna get pretty good at your short game. But so now imagine that you've done that most of your golfing life, but now you're starting to hit 10, 12, 14 greens. Scores go down dramatically.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing about the program is, well, a couple of things. One is you do the work outside of the range. You don't have to do it there. Matter of fact, we don't want you to do it there, number one. And number two is we want to get you to the point where you're so trained and you have confidence because you have confidence, not because you're trying to have affirmations or you're saying affirmations, I'm going to hit the green. You know, because you have skill that you developed and you have the confidence and you're trained. Once trained, always trained. Imagine a golfer a year from now. So if a golfer's listening, imagine that a year from now, you never, ever have to practice again. You can go to you can go to the range and hit golf balls if you want, but it's absolutely not necessary. You go to the driving range. So, Dean, I figure I'm about 70% trained, and I'm still having great results. It's only a couple months from now where I literally you go to the golf course, 10, 15, 20 minutes, half hour, depending on your schedule. You loosen up, you don't practice. You're not trying to figure anything out. You go to the first tee. Imagine being at the first tee, and this is how I know that this is the method that really works for me and others as well. Is when I was playing baseball, I wanted as many people watching me as possible. Watch me get this next ball. Watch me go from first to third on a single. Watch me tag out from second and score. Watch this. Yeah. Not in an arrogant way, but I know that I could do it, right? Versus being on the first tee at my club saying, I hope nobody's watching me. Matter of fact, even looking around, making sure nobody's watching, then swing.
Right.
Versus watch me hit this drive.
Yeah.
Watch me make this 18-footer. And it comes from being trained. So that's it, Dean.
Okay. So tell me, how long does it take for someone to be trained, as you say it?
So it all depends on how much they value lower scores and playing better golf. Now, for me, I went through the 60-day program in 24 days.
Okay. So when I look at this, you
can go at your own. You can go at your own pace.
Yeah. So we're comparing though. So if I look at my the landscape of golf improvement opportunities. Okay, that's who we're looking at. We got the big total universe of everybody who plays golf. then
Gotcha.
the subset of that who are interested in improving their game. And this is a metaphor for anybody. We've got any market. We've got the whole of the market. We've got the subset of the market that wants to improve their golf game or whatever somebody's market is. And then we've got the different mechanisms or choices that people have within that. So a lot of times people think, okay, equipment change is the way that we can make a difference, right? When you look at it, that I can get a new driver and that'll solve it for me, or I can get these new wedges that are going to make it easier for me to hit it out of the sand and off tight lies and out of the rough. I can get these utility clubs that are going to make those approach shots better, especially out of the rough or out of bad lies or anything like that. So you look at those as kind of the specialty clubs that are going to make that change. And it's instant in their mind. I don't have to change anything else about my game. And for most players, like higher handicap players, if you give somebody an alien wedge or you give somebody one of these, easy play wedges, that they are going to have a better outcome just using the swing that they already have, right, without having to really change anything. So it makes them feel like gives them that confidence, makes them feel like a better player without any investment of changing anything that I'm doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got the people that like to practice. Now these are things that are off the course opportunities that they have, which could be, these training aids that they have, like the clubs, the Medicus or the swing, training clubs that have get your hands in the right positions, or that the club is in the right position, or you're staying on plane for doing those things to help people groove that on plane swing. Or for some people, it's the first time they've ever felt what it feels like to have an on plane swing. And those are popular among the things. And then we get down to changing your actual swing, which can be through instruction or adopting somebody's particular approach to it, right? Whether it's taking a Mo Norman approach, like the what do they call that?
Natural golf. Yeah, the natural golf.
Natural golf. Learning and perfecting a swing that makes it easy for people. Natural golf, or what would be some of the other popular approaches?
Hardy had the one
way.
plane two. Hardy had the one plane two plane swing. There's rotary golf out there. There's a lot of great methods out there. All that
stuff. So that falls into the thing. And then, here we go now. You're talking about something that is now we're not even going to go on the golf course. This is something that we're going to do, off the course are you doing it with a golf club, or are you learning moves and stuff outside of that? What does the protocol look like if I'm going to adopt this Tasada method?
Yeah, so there's seven chapters in the 60-day program. The first chapter is about energy and how to get the energy right. Again, like stalking something, like you're going to just pounce on it versus what am I going to do here? What am I going to do here? The second chapter is body movements where there is no club. you just move the body like you would in a yoga program.
Yeah.
And third chapter, you put a club in your hand. Then there's a club routine. So chapter 1 is energy. Chapter 2 is body routine. Chapter 3 is club routine, where you put a club in your hand and you swing it. Okay, you swing it, and then chapter 4 is about speed and uneven lies. Chapter 5 is short game. 6 is putting, and chapter 7 is taking it to the course. Because after all, if you can't take it to the course, what good is it? But it's all done. It's all done systematically, step by step. How long would it take? Well, to go through a 60-day program, it all depends on how much time someone can and is willing to put into it. And once done the program, I mean, it never has to be done again. So it could take someone a month, 60 days, 90 days, even a whole year, depending. I mean, I have certain people who purchased it, a month and a half ago, and are only on day 9. And then I have someone who purchased it 2 weeks ago. It's on day 22, I think. So it all depends on how quickly they want to do it. But again, once one gets through the program, is their swing going to be perfect? No, but they'll have the the wherewithal to go back if they needed to do this routine. And it's just
how many hours would it take to go through the whole program? What's the protocol here?
Each day is about 45 minutes, 50 minutes. Okay. And I was going to say, it just popped out of my head. Going through the program is just popped out of my head. Just totally popped out of my head.
Well, you said about 45 minutes. I was asking, what does somebody have to do?
Yeah, so they're gonna watch the video. So it's designed this way. So Brian and he has 2 of his assistants there as well on these videos. So he'll go through they'll do the movement. So they demonstrate the movement, then they explain the movement in great detail. Then they have you sample or do it a couple of times, and then over the course of the coming days, there's a routine done. So it's not just, okay, do this with your body. It's explained, and then it's just a routine where there's no more explanation. You're just doing it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And what you said about the club that's going to make you a little bit better, and then the training aids that are make you a little bit better, but that's okay, but it doesn't change the habit. So we have to replace or displace a habit that doesn't serve us on the golf course or striking the golf ball. And this program does just that, because it's the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And at one point, you're like, okay, now I could just do it without thinking about it. It's just done.
Okay.
Like you're driving a car. So that's how it works.
Okay. So that, I think, there's a lot of, you'd have to get somebody who's very serious about making these changes to invest that kind of time off the course. Mm-hmm. Like when you think about, if there's something that somebody can watch a video and then try it on the range a little bit before their regular Saturday round, I think if you look at that, it's probably, you look at the how often do people get to play golf,
Mm-hmm.
And unless you kind of position and looking at it as something maybe in the off season, that it would be something that somebody could do over the winter or leading up to the big thaw in the northern areas, where they're going to get to do this and come out with a big improvement, ready to start the season.
This is a perfect time for the people up north in Canada and in the East Coast and Minnesota. Stuff.
Yeah,
this is a perfect time for those people to. So what is it? Mid-January. If they did it February, March, and even some of April, I mean, they're gonna hit the ground running and really. And it's basically transformational. But like you said, it's for the person who seriously wants to do the work. Because not everybody's going to do it. There's a person, and there's not a criticism of it. Hey, look, let me get an alien wedge. It looks kind of weird. It looks alien. But if it helps me get out of the stand, and I can shave 2 or 3 strokes around, hey, I'm willing to do it. I'm not willing to I'm not willing to do that program for 60 days or 90 days. I'm not willing to do it, and that's perfectly fine for that person.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got to just got to find the right person. Now, when you look at it, then how is it delivered?
Is it how are you involved in this? Like, what's the relationship that you have with somebody?
Okay, so I'm a certified movement specialist for TSADA. So then, if Dean Jackson purchased the program through my link, I would get the 30% referral fee.
Okay.
And then I would offer my services to Dean. I would offer my services to Dean Jackson. Say, would you like help through the chapters? Okay. And then offer my services either on a 60-day basis or a monthly basis, or just as needed. Dean calls me up and says, "Hey Dave, can we do a little follow up? And we'll do a little FaceTime, and I charge what I charge, that kind of thing." So ultimately, and I just started, so I have one person now who pays $1,000 a month, and I let them come unlimited, and we have 3 days in the yoga studio and 2 days actually on the driving range, and we don't really hit golf balls and try to figure out our swing, but we do our movements, and then we see how it translates to striking golf balls. So, and he basically is on a monthly. He's on a monthly retainer.
Okay,
so that's how that works. So, step one is to introduce them to the TSADA program. They sign up. Step two is help them along the program.
Could you facilitate this in a group?
Absolutely. It's even probably better in the group.
Yeah. And so, I'm wondering if that might be a good way to approach it. To start to think about that as a as a 6-week program or a 60-day program, or something that they could go through kind of leading up to the season. Where are you now? Are you in San Diego?
No, I'm in La Quinta in the desert.
Okay. But they're all playing right now. So you're playing year round. So it's not there's a lot of snowbirds there, I bet.
Yeah, so right now, so basically it's topsy-turvy here. So when it's winter at east and north, everyone's playing here, okay?
Yeah.
And then when it gets really hot here, like in June, then we can go indoors. But I still, like right now, like I said, I have access to a yoga studio 3 days a week where we do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And it would be cool to have 10, 12 golfers there, and, we're not hitting golf balls, and we just do our work and then go play. And and by the way, speaking of that, we do the work away from the golf course, but if a person wanted to hit golf balls every single day, that's their business, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. And then what's the outcome? Like, so you look at it because it's so, because it's so sort of fundamental stuff, right? It's not, what's the promise of it, of me doing this? Is there...
The promise is you hit the ball longer. So I'm about a club and a quarter longer now, and more accurate. So my average greens, and I always kept my stats, was basically 8, and I was a 1 handicap, hitting 8 greens, and now I'm hitting 12 around, and I'll probably have that up to 6. I'll probably have it up to 16 by the end of this.
So that's a 50% improvement.
Absolutely, yeah. So and then, but probably most importantly, it's the feeling of being so trained that there's no thought, to leave thought behind and just go have some fun. So what's it really all about is fun. Like, what's more fun? Trying to figure out your golf swing on a golf course, or going out there and shooting a low score. And even when you miss a shot, you know that there's nothing to fix. It's just like, okay, go get it. Do I hit it? Do I hit a ball in the trees? Of course. Now let me just go do it and put it on the green from there.
Would this be something then that, I'm wondering if this would maybe lend itself to like high school or college golf teams?
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. And, because I wonder if you can add some statistical backup, to what's happening here. I think anytime that there's anything like this, what you have to set up is the quantifiable improvement, versus just the qualitative feels better and it's more fun kind of thing, that of course
you need both. You need both, absolutely.
You need both, absolutely, because why? And who does it matter to? Like if you look at it, that if let's say you take an elite high school golfer, or junior golfer who is going into their senior year, and is looking for golf scholarship, that could make a big difference if you look at if they had an improvement in the stats like you're talking about, of you're improving your, if you improve greens from 8 to 12 and you've got, and the distance is improving and everything, that would make a big difference for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting. I started a podcast, a new podcast for my realtors called Listing Agent Lifestyle. And one of the things that I talked about was, because this year, 2018, this is, I got my real estate license in 1988. So 30 years now, this marks of my real estate career. And I was looking back and seeing, what has changed and what hasn't changed in those 30 years, And if I look back, I use golf as a example, that if you look at back in 1990 was when I went back, so 28 years ago, the leading driving distance on the PGA Tour was 279 yards. And in 2017, the leading driving distance was 317 yards. Okay, so an improvement of 56 yards or whatever, more than that, right? From 317, so 56, 57, 58 yards improvement on driving distance. But and that's all driven by technology, right? And advancements in the golf ball and the golf club, and that the players are more athletic now, right? Like certainly they have more athletic swings. They're more aggressive. There's more muscular. Those kind of things all matter to hit the ball further. But when I looked at the thing that really matters, scoring average, the leading scoring average has improved by less than 1/4 of one stroke in that same period of time.
Yep.
And so you look at that there's the fundamental things, and I think that's where I was saying my lesson about that for the realtors was very similar in that you can't digitize the last 100 feet of a golf hole, right? Or you can't technologically improve the last 100 feet of a golf hole. It comes down to you being able to get the ball on the green and in the hole. That's the end of it, And if
Absolutely.
you're saying that these kind of things, that this makes a difference in the fundamental things, then it should make a difference in the qualitative things or the quantitative things as well,
Absolutely. And one of the things that we didn't talk about, how that when we move our body, we move it from our dantian, and not to get really technical with regard to martial arts, or our center. All movements come from the center, and we actually work with our center so that we're always in balance and we're never out of balance. So most missed golf shots are out of balance. So we keep ourselves in balance. We leverage ourselves on the way back. We level out on the way through impact, and then we thrust up to a beautiful finish, always in balance, always coming from our center. and we can hit the ball definitely longer and definitely straighter. And you will absolutely, if you took your stats, you'll see a dramatic improvement. But as you just said, Dean, only a certain amount of people are willing to go through it. So if somebody said to me, Dave, I can't do that, and you just hit the nail on the head, what's the quickest way to lower my handicap? We work 100 yards and in.
Yes.
Right. Because the guys that are winning on tour, the guys in the top 10 are the guys that are making the most putts and getting up and down. So how many times have you watched a golf tournament where they say, okay, Don Smith is 11 out of 11 in up and down this tournament, or they're 6 out of 6 or 5 out of 6 in sand saves, and the guy who's hitting the ball just as far or farther is 1 out of 5, and they're not even on the leaderboard.
Yeah, right. That's it. Because a lot of times the guys who hit the ball the farthest have the touch and the. One of the greatest things I ever heard a caddy say, Dave, in Scotland, to one of my playing companions, he said, "You got the hands of a sheet metal worker."
Nice.
Yeah. And so that's they're not the most delicate, but they can hit the ball a long way. So
hey, Dean, can I ask you?
Go ahead. Sure. So can you ask me a question?
Yeah, I was going to ask you a question. So I wrote 21 Days to Golfing Freedom. We did the page. We did the ebook. So there was 113 views, 276 opt-ins. Conversion rate was 25%. I started a dialogue. I think it was 48% of the 276 dialogued with me. And I sold 9 programs. But I sort of lost interest when I realized that it wasn't really helping. And I haven't even sent an email to any of these 276. These are just the people who got the book, and it came from one podcast, so there was no advertising whatsoever. And like I said, I have another 400 people or more who were former students.
The mechanics of this are the same. When you look at it, that you don't have to. It's the same mechanics in that you can have the book. It was a great, and literally you could have the same title, even, right? 21 Days of Golf and Freedom, or whatever if you can go through module, the first portion of it, or phase 1, or whatever you can, make this to be. It's the same thing. Because at that point, you've hit a nerve on them, that they want that book, and they leave their name and their email address to get it. They don't have any clue what you're talking about until you start communicating with them, right? But nothing on that front end needs to change, really.
Yeah, I would just change the 21 days to 60 days, because again, it's a 60-day program, and then I'll have to go into the book, and I started doing it already, and I'll just make the changes. I'll just change what I say to correlate to what I'm teaching now, and just do it all over again, right, Dean?
That's it.
Perfect.
That's what I'm saying. Is now the mechanics, right? Like how this works. It's just that you've changed your protocol. You changed what you do, but you tapped into the motivation. You tapped into what people wanted, and whatever you did to get people to leave their name and email address, that worked. What you did to engage with people is the same thing. What was your engagement dialogue? I remember we worked on some different things in Email Mastery with you on how to engage with the people.
So it was, the first thing was, it's a great read. I stole it from some genius. Grab a cup of coffee. It's a great read. Then the next day was, what's your handicap? And like I said, 48% of the people said some people just said my handicap is 17, or some people wrote me 3 paragraphs, 5 paragraphs, and that's just started a dialogue.
Mm-hmm. So that's, you're all the way down to, you've got Profit Activator 1 dialed in. We know who we're talking to. It's the same people. We've got Profit Activator 2, a way to get people to raise their hand using the book. Now, As soon as they ask for it, they're automatically in Profit Activator 3. You'd ask the same question, right? You're still going to say the same thing when they download. Here's a copy of the book. Grab a cup of coffee. It's a great read. And then the next morning, hey, welcome aboard. What's your handicap? Everything. Now you've got somebody who's willing to engage in a dialogue, and they're on their way through a conversation with you. Now that you know differently, now you've got a different destination for the conversation, but the mechanics are still the same. You're just going to engage with them, find out what their need is, or what their desire or their frustration. Then you're going to tell your story. I imagine you've got some videos or some things to share with them that introduce your methodology.
Absolutely. So now the next question is, the 276 people that opted in to the 21 Days to Golfing Freedom, how do I introduce a new thing without looking like a jerk?
Hey, I got a new thing. I mean, that's the thing. I just discovered, and you start telling that story. It's not like forget everything you've ever heard kind of thing,
Okay, good. So I have
you just kind of tell.
Say again, Dean?
You just kind of tell that the story of your discovery,
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's really good. And then my target. So and then now I have access to a couple of country clubs that have lots of houses where I would say 65% of the people are golfers there. What kind of direct mail do I do? Do I do a direct mail to get them to the landing page?
You could direct mail for the book. It's
exactly.
the same.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, direct mail for the book.
Yeah. You got to compel people first, and then you convince.
Right. So direct mail right to the book.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. So whatever you were doing to get people to download the book before, that's what you can do now.
Yeah, well, actually, I didn't do anything. It was just a matter of I just did one podcast, and I got 1,113 people from that one podcast, and I don't know how to run.
Could you do that again?
I could definitely do that again. Now, can I? How do you do your Facebook ads?
Well, you go to this website called Google, and you type in the words, how do I do Facebook ads?
Somebody likes a wise guy, Dean.
No, I'm just saying. That's
I got it.
Any question that starts with how, the answer is Google. But the more important question is who, not how. Who can help me with Google with Facebook ads? That's a better question.
I'm thinking Dean Jackson.
Well, that's I can help you with the what to say on them, but not the mechanics of doing them.
Right.
There's lots of people that can help you run Facebook ads. You can find a VA who can do that kind of thing. Even.
Okay. Yeah. And again, it's to get them to go to the landing page for the ebook.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
All we got to do, nothing happens until you turned an invisible prospect into a visible prospect.
Yes.
That's really the thing and now you've got all of these, what have you been doing to communicate with these people over the amount of time that you've had them on your radar here in your list?
Well, I'm not consistent. I wasn't consistent at all. And like I said, as I was doing it, I realized that the method wasn't what it was cracked up to be. Then I just stopped everything. Then I found Tasada, and then over the past 4 months, I had to go through the training myself and then validate it for myself. And then my small group of friends and then one student, we made sure that it actually worked, which it does. Now I'm ready to roll it out. So I haven't really done anything. So like I said, I have 276 people who got the original ebook, who I never, I just basically dropped the ball with them. And then all the other people in my database, what I love about what you do is I'm always getting an email from you, like, I can't wait to get it too. It's like, it's awesome stuff versus here's Dave not sending anything out to anyone.
Right, exactly. So I think that's an important thing when you start now, communicating. That's part of it, is that your flagship, I think it would be, because you're an enthusiastic user of this method, right? So
Absolutely.
When you look at it, that if you're sharing your stuff, like, listen, I've been keeping track, and show your picture of your notebook, where you're keeping your stats on the round, or I don't know how you keep your stats on your scorecard, but I used to keep a separate scorecard where I'd have my score, and then I'd have, how did I hit the fairway? Did I hit the green? How many putts?
That's how I do it.
Yeah, but I would use a whole line for that, right? Like I would use, if there's 4 lines on the scorecard for
exactly
4 players.
That's exactly how I do it, Dean. Yep.
And I'd have an X in that one if I got it, right? So that way, you're showing stuff there where you're showing the improvement that, and maybe breaking it down, that people are voyeuring in through seeing your enthusiastic improvement, and then telling that whole thing. But you've just got to become engaged in that dialogue. It's just like they're living vicariously through you. You're kind of the canary in the coal mine in a way, right? You're going through, doing it first, and you're saying, hey, look at this, and then you're saying, hey, I'm getting together with some people, to talk about this. Would you like to join us? And that way, then you can invite people to your, take part in your program, or you can do it as a case study.
I also started, I did a couple of free workshops just for 1 or 2 persons, but what I basically do is I demonstrate first. I watch them hit golf balls, don't say anything, no critiquing. Then I explain where I was and where I am now, and then I give them just a sample of the program. Like there's 12 body movements in chapter 2, and I give them the first 6 and how to address the ball and so on and so forth. And then I say I don't know. See, I don't know how much of Joe is you and you is Joe. You guys are both great, but the thing where you have 3 options. So what I say is in the beginning, option 1. So you have 3 options. Option 1, you're not gonna like anything we're doing here, and I'll never see you again. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Option 2 is you're gonna love what we're doing here, and you're gonna get the online program. And option 3 is you're gonna get the online program, and you're gonna have me help you through it. So that way they know. Then I'll say, okay, what is it? 1, 2, 3, or So that's what I want to do. So I want to fill up the free workshops, and again, like you said, and you of course know, is it's all a numbers game. So doing a free workshop on Saturday, would you like to join? No, you don't even say that, right? You just say, well, we're doing a free workshop. Would you like to join us? Then you give them the details, right?
Right. Yep. That's it.
It's details after they're interested.
Yes. That's
okay.
It.
Good.
Yes. That's the thing, right? It's like you can't. It doesn't. Whenever they are. Once they're interested, then we tell them about what you're doing.
Got it.
and ask them to decide. That's the thing.
Good.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of equity that you've built up in the, you're trained now in direct response in a way, right? You're trained how to get people to go to a landing page and leave their name and email. You can apply that to anything now,
Good.
Now you're just picking up where that conversation is. But I think that's the thing, is that you've got to, I think, using your own, almost like your own narrative, your own sort of travel log, or diary or whatever, every time you're playing, you've had insights or you've had some result or something that you can share, or content testimonials, some result of somebody that you've been working with. But you definitely, every time you start with somebody, you've got to you've got to create your own set of metrics that you're looking at. So you set up the scoreboard to be able to prove the difference, to be able to prove what it is, and figure out, and celebrate what's that magic moment. What's the thing that is going to have somebody excited that they're seeing a result happen now. Like before knowing you, it doesn't, we talk about a 60-day program, but hopefully it doesn't take 60 days before they see a result. What's the most immediate result that you can get for somebody,
Perfect. Yeah. And the simple metrics are, fairways, greens, and ultimately your score. Like you said, you could hit the ball, 58 yards farther, but if the score doesn't go down, how much good is it?
And that's part of the thing that, Nike, when they came out with their golf balls, in a world where every golf ball was screaming length, distance, Nike came out as the first company ever to come out with accuracy as their attribute.
That's great. Without accuracy, do you have nothing?
Right. And so remember, they came out with those things with straight. That was the thing. And that's kind of an interesting, because that was different than the distance balls, and then they parlayed into the distance balls, right? But even then, at a primal I think Nike did such a great job of entering into the golf world. Now they're out of it now, but into the golf world with their tour accuracy. That's a great set of words that nobody else was touting, and but everybody realized they needed it.
Yeah, Dean. And ultimately, it's so simple. Golf's a simple game, not necessarily easy, because you need to make birdies to lower your score. You can't make birdies. Well, it's easier to make birdies if you hit the fairway. If you hit the greens in regulation, obviously. Because chipping a birdie in every once in a while is going to happen, but you don't want to make a living on that. And then also, it's going to be easier to hit greens if you're in a fairway. And if you have a little bit more distance, if you have a shorter iron, it's easier to hit a green. So if we have those metrics, and someone says, "Hey, I went from a 15 handicap to a 9.2, and here's my metrics." Yeah, now we have something.
That's exactly it.
Perfect.
And if you're showing it overwhelming, that's happening for everybody that goes through, then that becomes now, this is where you're going. Now I see what I'm buying for my exchange with Dave. I'm buying, I'm buying more of this. So, translates into winning more money from their friends on the golf course, or,
All right, what's the movie tonight?
Today, the movie is The Post.
Oh, dude, I saw it yesterday.
And?
2 thumbs up.
What's your review?
My review is it's excellent.
Okay. Well, I'll see if we agree. So I have to watch Facebook to see the consensus here.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, Dave, keep us posted.
Thanks, Dean Jackson.
Okay. Thanks, Dave. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
And there we have it. Another great episode. Isn't it interesting that, and we had a lot of great conversations there about fundamentally how the marketing systems work, because we got down to it, nothing really had to change about what he was doing up until the point where he starts introducing the program that he has, the desires, the audience, the mechanism that he's using as a book to get people to raise their hand, and the dialogue method that he's using to get engaged with them, all happen prior to when he describes the method that he has to help them improve their golf game. So really all of that, none of that initial approach for the first 2 and 3 profit activators has to fundamentally change. He can do more and more of that, and then just introduce in Profit Activator 4 the offer that is going to fit with what he's doing right now. So, it shows again how transferable these processes are. If you figure out how to get people, how to select your target audience, how to get people to raise their hand, how to engage in a dialogue with the percentage of people that are willing to engage in the dialogue, and then introduce your transformational process to them, you're on your way. That's the fundamental underlying thing that we're looking for here. So I hope you got a lot out of that one. If you'd like to continue the conversation here, you can go to morecheeselesswhiskers.com. You can download a copy of the More Cheese, Less Whiskers book. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, just click on the Be a Guest link. Great place for you, if you're a longtime listener, to start the process of applying the 8 profit activators that we talk about to your business, is go to profitactivatorscore.com and try our Profit Activator Scorecard. It'll give you an immediate insight into how the 8 profit activators are either growing or slowing your business right now. And remember, they're universally present. They're there whether you're actively architecting a way to apply them or whether they're being applied to your business right now. So that's it for this week. Enjoy your week, and I will talk to you next time.